This is another decoy voice. NYPD just left, and I can easily believe that. Why would you? Why would the people who protect and serve remain when the people there don't want them there or disrespect them? It's like, oh, you're not needed. We can take care of ourselves. Why would they remain? Why would they remain? But yeah, this is decoy voice.
New York's new mayor basically called open season on NYPD, as apparently you can send the police to the hospital with zero fear of arrest, as a recent blizzard brought down 2 feet of snow, to which the responding police were immediately pelted by snowballs by a quickly growing mob of unemployed behavior.
Why?
NBG on the scene shows us they were actually being assaulted. With Freedom News seeing PD trying to OC spray their way out of there.
What the heck is going on in New York? It's funny. It's funny. What happened well, on 9/11 is going to be ended with the new mayor. He's going to bring New York to ruin. Not just the 2 towers going down, but the entire city going down. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. That entire place is going down. Literally down. Yeah, the police are hated. The police are hated because it's the cool thing to hate the people who are sacrificing themselves and putting their lives at risk to keep you safe. How does that make sense? How does that make a lick of sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. The whole thing is just sheer lunacy. But whatever. This is where we're at in 2026. The U.S. is just getting... honestly, let New York fall. We don't need it. Sure, it was the Big Apple. It was like the first place people came to. They would see the Statue of Liberty. Just let it fall. Just let New York fall. We can sacrifice that on the altar of socialism. So America knows that we tried it and it failed, and it should never be brought back on U.S. soil again. That's just what has to happen. That's just what has to happen. We have to sacrifice New York at this point in order for people, well, people will never truly realize, but at least we'll have an example to point to and be like, of course, everyone's going to say, well, Trump did. Well, it's not. If it's the people's responsibility and the government is supposed to have all the power, why would they? Again, it doesn't make any sense. The whole argument's nonsensical to begin with. Shouldn't have imported wrong immigrants, illegal immigrants.
Eventually needing to full-on retreat from the growing mobs of EBT.
Yeah, because it's socialist. Why would they bother working? Why would those people bother going to work when you're encouraged not to work? Why would you work? That's the thing, because they get EBT. They get paid for doing nothing. They get paid to be unemployed. It makes no sense. I hate that system. There should only be a few people who are allowed to be to get paid while unemployed, like the mentally infirm, which honestly that is a huge. But we could just stick those in asylums. And then there are like the medically incapable. Not like these obese people who got fat by just eating too much. How do they qualify? How the heck do they qualify for all this? does that guy even walk? You see that? How does he even walk? He has his waistband around his knees. This is the intellect of the people chasing out the cops. Again, we need to sacrifice New York on the altar of socialism. We just have to let the entirety of New York crumble and burn. Let it fall to the ground. Let it fall to the ground. And what's fun? Yeah, it looks like Europe. The funny thing is these aren't the immigrants who have moved in. These are the moronic U.S. citizens that think they're doing, I can't say the Lord's work because most of these people don't even believe in a higher power. I don't know how to explain it. They think they're justified because they're on the right side of history. And then when New York crumbles and falls, gets burned to the ground, which I'm all for now. I'm absolutely all for. I've never been there and honestly never cared to go. I never cared to visit. It has a massive rat problem. And apparently the rats breeded into these people. It just burned the whole place down. And then we can start from scratch. We could just start from scratch. It's just so freaking stupid. Sacrifice it on the altar of socialism. Prove to everyone that it doesn't work. We've proven it time and time and time and time and time again. There has to be, in order for that to actually work, there has to be a slave labor. And sadly, machines aren't advanced enough to be the slave labor. They aren't advanced enough. So, yeah.
Even though snowball fights seem insignificant, it's insane that they felt safe in attacking armed coppers, as reportedly, several officers were injured, actually sending some of them to the hospital, with the Fed saying there needs to be prosecutions. And even though NYPD called for assistance in identifying some of these attackers, the police commissioner stated there was investigations, the governor brushed it off as unacceptable, with Mayor Mamdani basically saying nothing, only to later suggest no charges.
From the videos that I've seen, it looks like a snowball fight. I think that
A snowball fight. It's a snowball fight. In the middle of the street, as cops are trying to get around the place, it's a snowball fight. Yeah, the cops just need to leave en masse. Leave en masse. Cops are on a union. They could easily do it and still get paid for doing it because they're a union. Sure, there would be ramifications, but New York obviously doesn't need peace officers. So they should just go to another place. Yes, it would suck for them to pick up their families and move, but it'd be better for them. It'd be better for them, and it'd be better for New York. It'll survive. It'll definitely survive.
there were 2 officers who were facing lacerations on their face.
All for prosecution of those who built it then?
Look, I've seen the videos of this snowball fight. I think that it was a snowball fight.
I've seen the videos of this snowball fight. I think it was a snowball fight. Clearly, there is no respecting the peace officers. You can do whatever you want. There is no respecting those who are there to protect and serve. No. It's a snowball fight. It's a snowball fight. Obviously, the cops were involved in the snowball fight. You know what? They started it. They were like, you know what, everyone? Let's get in the streets. Let's throw snowballs at each other. Yeah, that's what happened. Mamdani is just a huge... Oh my gosh. It's, again, he's finishing what started on 9/11. I'm saying it. I'm owning it. Cancel me if you want, but he's finishing what was started on 9/11. It may be several decades late, but it's coming. It's coming.
The NYPD says no arrests have been made.
Again, basically shrugging it off.
Police department put out 4 pictures of people they're looking for, saying that they may have assaulted police officers. I wonder what your reaction to that is, if you think that they should be prosecuted if they're caught, and if you've talked to the police commissioner about that.
So I stay in regular touch with my police commissioner, and I appreciate the work that she's doing. You know, I've said time and time again that having seen these videos, to me it was a snowball fight that got out of hand.
Practically saying nothing stops them from doing it again.
Yeah, an Islamic bad jinn. Honestly, it depends on how long he's been there, because New York has been going down for a long period of time.
Said that what I saw was a snowball fight. It should be treated accordingly. It was one that got out of hand, but that's what it was. Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, are you willing to?
So a snowball fight is perfectly fine. So anyone in a snowy area, pick up snow, start tossing it at the officers. If you end up grabbing ice balls by accident, it's perfectly fine if you throw them at the officers, because it's commonly mistaken ice balls for snowballs, okay? So you can scar the officers because it's a snowball fight. It's perfectly fine because it's a snowball fight. It just got a little out of hand. Just a little out of hand.
Revise your statement regarding the snowball fight, given that this was not exactly a friendly back and forth snowball fight. The police that were there were not throwing any snowballs. They were getting pelted themselves. And number two, have you considered, or would you
Watching U.S. politics is just like, just seeing everything crumble to the ground.
consider banning these crowdsourcing events, because they can and sometimes do get out of hand?
So I'm not going to be banning snowball fights or organized snowball fights.
No one's, oh my freaking gosh. Again, he knows. Like, it's funny, after he became a mayor, he was basically panhandling. Oh, we need a bit more money for us to start our socialism project, because clearly money comes from somewhere. Does anyone know where money comes from? We need money, though, because nobody's working. Nobody wants to work because we're in a socialist city right now. Can anyone give us money? Oh my gosh. I don't know, but whenever I see the Kingpin from Daredevil, it reminds me of Donald Trump. The Kingpin from Daredevil. My mind went to the Ben Affleck Daredevil, and I'm just like, I love that actor. He was great. Why are you comparing him to Donald Trump? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Fisk. What's the actor's name? I forgot the actor's name, but I like him. He's a great actor.
New York police now know your boss sees no.
But of course, they designed him as Donald Trump, because at the time that show came out, Donald Trump was getting in office, so he was that character in the show was based on Donald Trump.
Issue with you getting sent to the hospital, what should be no surprise from the guy that previously thought cops crying is nature healing. And as much as it sucks to be NYPD under Mamdani, it's actually much worse to be a defenseless citizen under Mamdani. As when
Get rid of the mod. It's acting like Indian censor board. I don't know how to even get rid of the mod. That's something I'm going to have to look into.
the police don't feel empowered enough to defend themselves from attacks, what makes you think they'd do more for random strangers than themselves? As all these idiots forget, defunding the police really means empower the predators, as Maryland is a prime example of what happens when the cops are too terrified to enforce the law.
New video showing the moment a...
See? Run them through. Run them through. Just hit the accelerator. Anyone on the road deserves to get run over. It's not that complicated. It is not that complicated. Pedestrians on the sidewalk, on the side of the road, which was built for pedestrians, cars, guess what, should be allowed to drive on the road. Anyone standing on the road deserves to basically get hit because they're idiotic enough to be standing in the middle of the road. And if you need to cross the street, go to a crosswalk. Go to a freaking crosswalk. It's just insane. It's just insane.
Masked mob attacked a police cruiser in Maryland. The incident taking place during a chaotic street takeover over the weekend, as agitators blocked traffic in all directions while others performed high-speed donuts in their cars.
As previously, citizens were afraid to speed in front of the cops, but deep blue cities now look more like GTA 6 than America. And it's not like once these EBT tribes defeat the police, they suddenly become law-abiding citizens incapable of assault and go back to their office jobs in accounting. No. Once they realize there aren't any consequences, they'll go on to victimize the same idiots who voted to castrate the coppers, cried away their own two-way rights, demanded unlimited amounts of unvetted individuals get free housing in their own neighborhoods, and always appear incredibly fragile and defenseless. And even though NYC has only seen warning signs so far, this is definitely going to become their reality, as Mom Donnie now moves to defund the NYPD, canceling 5,000 new police officers, totaling $22 million of police budget cuts, as he now has a $5 billion with a B deficit. And even though they're raising property taxes on regular citizens and raiding their pensions, it's not for services for those same citizens, but free childcare for undocumented individuals that apparently don't even speak English.
Of course. That's always the case. That's always the case. One thing I like about USA is that YouTube is not censored, and people can say whatever they like compared to India. Well, and like Britain, if someone was posted a video criticizing like how how it's gone crazy, they get arrested. Not the illegal immigrants or the immigrants causing actual crimes. It's the person posting, the native posting their unhappiness as to what's going on. The people who have lived there their entire lives, who were born and raised, and it's just like, at least I have a voice. At least I have a voice, but at the same time, it's insane what's going on. That's why we need to sacrifice New York. Sadly, a lot of people seem to love New York. I've never been, don't plan on being. I don't like the big cities. I lived in San Francisco. I hated it. That was enough for me. I know I don't like big cities. I'm a country nobody. But that's the thing. It's just like, we need to sacrifice something. And New York is like the most well-known city in the US around the world. Around the world. So it just makes sense that we sacrifice it. The rest of the world would know why socialism will never work. As soon as it crumbles and falls, the rest of the world will know. I mean, all the other blue states are apparently following suit because law and order doesn't exist in a blue state.
English.
Hola.
Mi español no es el.
Bringing in equally socialist and useless AOC to say, in Spanish, any parent in New York City, regardless of your job, income, or immigration status, can get, quote, free 3K or pre-K childcare services, aka paid for by other people's tax dollars. And after what happened in Minneapolis, I wonder if that's code for foreign fraud, as that's their party's official priority. Why defend the police who defend the citizens that fund the city with their tax dollars when they only see them as low IQ tax cattle, whose only purpose is to provide the Democrats with votes and cash that is immediately turned over to their newcomers? I'd say this happened so gradually
She's
nobody
AOC.
even noticed.
That's all
but
people
no,
know her as.
This is only 2 months in. I just hope all these idiots leaving the city realize that this was their doing and don't vote for the same nonsense once.
That's the thing, is the brain rot these people have. They think that everything bad that is happening is not their fault for voting for it. It's the president's fault. For some freaking reason, these morons don't understand that there's a difference. There are state laws, there are city laws, then there's the nation's laws. The president is basically the head of the nation and can dictate like a national force, like ICE. Immigration is like a national issue. But when it comes to like the state's problems, there's a reason why all these morons from blue states end up leaving those blue states that they've ruined and traveling to like Texas and starting to ruin Texas. Travel to Idaho, start ruining Idaho. Travel to Florida and start ruining Florida. Why? Because they think it's not them that destroyed the state. They think it was somehow the president, who isn't really even in control of the state's decisions, destroyed the state. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But they could somehow say it in their head that they are well, what is the term, on the right side of history.
They move away. So if you
Oh
appreciate
my gosh,
my
I always do
concise,
that.
I don't.
Oh, decoy voice. Oh, Trump is not going to win again. Of course, he can't run again. He's already done his second term. It's illegal. It's illegal. I want Vance. I want Vance, though. I like Vance. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I guess common sense is not part of their doctrine. It's not. It's not. It's definitely not.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait on that.